going on, Vol fans? Welcome back into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Petersen. We discussed earlier this morning Ryan Staub taking a visit to Knoxville. Well, that visit went very, very well because he has committed and signed with the Tennessee Volunteers. Also joining him, his teammate, Colorado Buffalo athlete Isaiah Harge. I'll break down those two additions to the roster. That's going to be our first little set of news. After that, Joey Aguilar finally got a date to hear whether he'll get an extra year of eligibility. We'll discuss those possibilities, and then we're going to round out today's show, and we're going to take it to high school recruiting because we've been talking a lot about the portal over the last 14 days or so. Let's take it back to the high school ranks because Chad Simmons of On3 believes that Tennessee is heavily in the mix to flip a 5-star wide receiver. I'll tell you why you should be excited about that at the end of today's show. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time, we're so glad you are here. We encourage you to hit that subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, and it locks you in for daily videos on the Tennessee Vols. Let's start with talking about Ryan Staub. If you don't know who he is, well, he is a redshirt sophomore, formerly at the University of Colorado. 6'1", 200 pounds this last season. Started a few games for the Buffaloes, 427 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 54.5% completion percentage. So nothing that's really going to jump out and grab you. Nothing that's really going to jump out and get you extremely excited. And it's funny because I, for one, and we'll get to the positives in a second, I, for one, am not incredibly inspired by this edition of Ryan Staub, but people are going to comment and people are going to say, hey, nobody was really excited about Joey Aguilar. Yeah, but Joey Aguilar had thrown for like 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns like 2 or 3 times already in college football. So, like, it's very, very different not being excited about Joey Aguilar than it is not being excited about Ryan Staub, okay? It might be the same emotion, but there's 2 different hearts at that emotion, if you get what I'm saying. But before we get into the negatives or deep into the negatives, let's talk about the positives, because I do think one thing you are getting with Ryan Staub is a guy who's played a lot of college football. Maybe not started a lot of college football, but he has been a college football quarterback. Next year is going to be his 4th season. His freshman year was 2023, right? You've got in your quarterback room, if Joey Aguilar doesn't get another year of eligibility, you've got Faizon Brandon, who's been on campus for a week, and George MacIntyre, who's been on campus for a year. Okay? That's it. Those guys' combined experience, the average of those guys' age in college football is 6 months. So maybe Ryan Staub is not going to be able to teach them a ton of like how to go out there and be a quarterback and a starting quarterback at the Power 4 level because he has not done that a ton himself. What he can teach them is how to be an athlete at the college level, how to prepare, how to practice, how to carry yourself in a meeting room, how to carry yourself as an athlete on campus. All of those things, I think, are very valuable lessons that having an older guy in this room is going to be able to pass down to those younger guys. I still think this is George MacIntyre's job. I think adding Ryan Staub does nothing but add a little bit more competition in the mix. But like, I don't think that Staub has a legitimate chance to actually be the starter for the Tennessee Volunteers in 2026. I think that's where my negatives come in. I feel like after you missed on Sam Leavitt and after you missed on Ty Simpson, going after those 2 players told me one thing. It told me that Tennessee wouldn't mind if there was a different starting quarterback in 2026. Now, that didn't tell me that Josh Heupel thinks that George MacIntyre sucks. I'm not saying that. I am saying, though, that there was a couple of guys, Ty Simpson, Sam Leavitt, that Josh Heupel was willing to pay a good bit of money for. In fact, it's reported offered $6 million for Sam Leavitt. It's reported they offered $4.5 million for Ty Simpson. Okay? You get what I'm saying. So I was, after you missed on those 2 guys, under the opinion of, okay, there's nobody really in the Power 4 level that's doing it for me right now, that's getting me too excited, that I can believe can legitimately come in here and compete to be the starter of this team. Why not go get a guy at the FCS level or the G5 level, a guy who has dominated at that level of football, and just see if he can do the same thing in the SEC? Now, it might not be likely, but like we've seen what Ryan Staub is at the Power 4 level. We've seen what Ryan Staub is as a starting quarterback in the Big 12, and it's nothing impressive. More interceptions, than touchdowns, less than a 55% completion percentage, less than a 45 QBR. And so it's like, what's the risk? If you guys in the comments are telling me, Joey, they just needed a warm body, what's the risk in getting a warm body who just dominated at a lower level of football to see if, hey, maybe he's just another Trinidad Shambles? Maybe he's a diamond in the rough that needs to go be found and brought into the system, an offensive system that's incredibly beneficial towards accurate quarterbacks. That's my opinion, okay? And look, I'm happy they added a third quarterback. I was one of the ones who's very vocal over the last week or so of like, why have we not brought anybody out on visits? What are we doing? Feels like we're sitting on our hands. It's been almost a week since we struck out on Sam Levitt. And still nothing, right? That's kind of how it had felt over the last week or so. So I'm happy they're bringing somebody in. Don't confuse my passion with frustration. But I would have liked to add just another person that might have been in actual serious competition to be the starter. Not saying that I don't believe in George. Not saying that I think this team is going to suck with George as the starter. It's just like, if you can get another guy in here you can actually believe could win this job, why not? Like, if he's the best one, then go roll with it. But speaking of competition, that's all that's about to happen for the next 7-8 months, and I am here for it. I'm excited about it. Don't confuse my, what am I trying to say? My lack of, being 100% George MacIntyre is going to be a star. Don't confuse that with me thinking he's going to be a bad quarterback and with me not being behind him. Because I am behind him 100%. If he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers come August, I will be, ringing the George MacIntyre bell as loudly as I can. But I'm excited for this competition, man. And may the best man win. And that's George, it's great. Probably going to be. If it's Faizon somehow, awesome. If it's Ryan Staub by the grace of God, then sweet. I'm rolling with that as well. I trust him, Josh Heupel, to pick who the best quarterback is going to be. Excuse me. Speaking of quarterbacks, we finally have a date to look forward to when it comes to Joey Aguilar, and that's in about 3 weeks from now, February 10th. We will get the hearing on whether he gets an extra year of eligibility or not. Also, real quickly, Isaiah Harge is going to be joining Ryan Staub with the Tennessee Volunteers. Athlete, plays both sides of the ball, 5 catches, 37 yards offensively this past season, and defensively, 14 tackles. So, gadget guy. Maybe you'll use him in special teams after Gavin Freeman is gone now, but I don't expect him to be like immediate impact starter and player for Tennessee. Okay, back to Joey Aguilar. February 10th is when we will hear whether or not he will get an extra year of eligibility. I am happy that we actually have a date to look forward to, and after that date comes and goes, whether it's good news and he's back or it's bad news and he's not, I'm just happy that's going to be in the rearview mirror. I'm happy that we're going to be able to, after that, February 11th, February 10th in the evening, focus forward to the 2026 Tennessee Volunteers and leave everything about 2025 in the rearview mirror. I've always been under the opinion, since this season was over, that getting Joey Aguilar would be the best thing for this team this next year. A guy who knows the offense, a guy who had success in the offense, wasn't perfect, but had success. I always thought that was going to be the best thing for this team. And if it doesn't happen, that's great. George MacIntyre is going to be awesome. I've got faith in him. I've got faith in Heupel to develop him and coach him up. But I am just happy that we know a date to look forward to. We know when we are going to know, and that's going to be February 10th. Can you tell me what day of the month that is? Or the week is. Thank you. We'll get stats. We'll get stats and info on it for you guys. But just a date to look forward to and a date to keep on the calendar, and we'll figure it out. You got it for me? It's a Tuesday. Great. Thank you so much, Kennedy Petersen. Last little bit of news comes from Chad Simmons over on Rivals. He writes, 2027 5-star wide receiver Easton Royal. He is committed to Texas, and the Longhorns were in New Orleans to visit the playmaker last week. On Friday, LSU stopped by. Florida was by earlier in the week, too. Auburn is another school in the mix, and the Buckeyes are also pushing. Okay? However, the Buckeyes could be one to watch. Florida was one of his early favorites less than a year ago. But here's the big part. Tennessee, maybe Texas is top competition. The offense and Kelsey Pope have the Vols in play. So, again, it's going to be 11 months until the class of 2027 has their early signing day. We got a lot of time to go to get these kids locked down. They're going to start taking visits in the spring. We know David Gabriel Georges is going to be here in the summer. But I think that's good news to know. You flipped a 5-star last year from LSU to Tennessee. Maybe you go back-to-back cycles, excuse me, of flipping 5-star wideouts. This is exactly why you pay a guy like Kelsey Pope. This is exactly why you extend a guy like Kelsey Pope, because of his ability to go out there and get these athletes, get these recruits to Tennessee. Very, very exciting stuff. Okay, we're going to get out of here. Just checked Volquest to see if I missed anything. I haven't. Let me check social media, make sure I didn't miss anything as well. That would be the last thing I want, is to log off and then I miss a big commitment or something. Okay, that's it. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. I'll be at home again calling the national championship game for work tomorrow. So you'll see me at the at-home setup, but then we'll be back in studio for the evening. Anyway, regardless, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.